Antebellum is the frozen waffles of slave movies, and I dare you to prove me wrong. What's good, everybody? This is Chenoa from NYC, and as you can tell from my unusual intro, Antebellum, that's what we're talking about today. I don't really want to talk about it, but my mom paid $20 on demand for us to watch this movie, and I don't want her $20 to go to waste, so let's get into it. Just so you know, there's going to be straight spoilers because I don't know who wants to watch this movie, and I feel so horrible saying that, but I'm disappointed, so let's go. This movie revolves around Janelle Monáe's character. We start off on a plantation, and as soon as I see this plantation, I'm like, oh my god. Like, I knew what we were gonna get into. I saw the trailer, but as soon as I saw the setting, I'm like, I am tired. Like, a wave of exhaustion just came over me. In general, like many other people, I am really tired of seeing slave-based movies. The beginning of the movie is very, very long. First part of the movie, we're just on this plantation watching people picking cotton, watching people get cursed out, watching people get killed. It lasts way too long. Next thing we know, Janelle's character is waking up in a gorgeous house next to a fine man with a cute little daughter, but most importantly, she's free. And it looks like the plantation situation was just a dream. Now, we spend way too long on the house scene. It feels like they spent a lot of money on the decor, and whoever designed it just really wanted you to see, like, look at this work I did. Isn't it amazing? And it was. It looked super gorgeous. I like the way the house looks. I would live there. But that's not what I came to see. So Janelle's character's name is Veronica, and Veronica's like a sociologist, an activist, an academic, the kind of person that you would see on CNN or writing think pieces or on a panel somewhere. She travels to another city and ends up at a hotel with some friends after speaking on a panel earlier in the day. She has a night out, she gets snatched up, she gets kidnapped, and finds herself on a plantation. Now hold on, are you confused? Don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna break it down. Basically, the plantation is modern day, and there's some white people around who are just kidnapping black people randomly to work and move as slaves. Well, let me not say randomly. I do think that Veronica is targeted, particularly because of the kind of work she does, how vocal she is about white supremacy. So perhaps this was a way to punish her and shut her up, because it's like, how dare you speak Negro, be quiet. Now, this plantation, they didn't play around. Mind you, this is supposed to be modern day, modern time. They got slave quarters, they got cotton fields, they got the big house, everything. Now, I don't know if they just hated black people so much they wanted to see them like on a field, or if they were actually contributing to an industry. Like, were you just enslaving people, kidnapping people just so they can, like, you can see people you hate do work and get beat by you and be scared of you? Are they making t-shirts for like Urban Outfitters? Like, what exactly is the purpose here? But okay. They have no phones, they have no iPads, nothing like that, so escape is pretty much impossible. But not in Veronica's case. She manages to escape on horseback, wearing the military jacket of one of her captors, and as she rides his horse to safety, she emerges out of the woods behind what I knew would happen is a Civil War reenactment situation, and it's kind of like a carnival, and she is safe. The FBI finds all the other captives and all is well. That is the quickest recap I've ever done, but that's because that was all there really was to the movie. Now let me go through my little tidbits about how I feel about this movie. The scenes are way too drawn out. I kind of feel like they did that because if they cut it down to a normal length, the movie would have been like 80 or 85 minutes. There's this one scene where Veronica's in the restaurant with her two friends. One of them is Gabourey Sidibe, who people keep calling Precious. I'm gonna need you to stop. That movie's mad old. Put some respect on her name, please. But she's in this movie playing one of her friends. She's a bit out there. I'm glad she got a role. I'm glad she had a job, but we didn't even need that. Like, they didn't use these side characters well enough. Like, the movie honestly just was Veronica and the captors who had something against her and wanted to see her picking cotton. Like, no. There's a scene where they're in a restaurant and there's a man who's buying them alcohol. He's sending drinks to their table. Usually when you watch a movie or a show and somebody comes over and says, hello ma'am, I don't really drink, so I'm gonna make something up. Don't drag me, please. Here is this Italian red wine. I don't know the name of it. I'm gonna make it up. We're gonna call it Red Winia. Here's a bottle of Red Winia. And then the woman's like, but I didn't order that. And it's like, oh no, it's compliments of the gentleman across the bar. And then the camera turns so you can see the men who are looking at the woman like, hey boo, was good. And then the woman will either blush and say thank you, or she'll dub them, whatever. In this movie, when they say, oh, this is compliments of like some guy, they never show him. A man comes up to the table and he's speaking to, I don't know who he's talking to because we never see his face. Like, it's really, and mind you, like I've said before, I've never taken a film class, which I kind of regret. I barely know how to use my own camera that I got for Christmas. But what I do know is them scenes made no sense whatsoever. They never showed the guy's face. We didn't even see a collar. I don't even know what kind of suit. Was he wearing Armani? Like what, I don't know what's going on. Guess he was talking to Gabourey's character, and they're letting Gabourey, I don't want to say she is improvising, but she's coming with that regular personality that she has. Because I watched Empire, yes I know, I watched Empire, You Can Drag Me, and the personality that she had on that show sometimes where she would get a little snappy and like, excuse me girl, like she had that in this movie. The only difference in this movie is that she was cursing a bit more. She low-key drags him for his alcohol choice, for like, honestly that scene felt like it was 2.5 to 3 minutes. And you might say, girl, so what? 2.5 to 3 minutes in a movie is very, very long. We need to be moving along at all times. Every piece of dialogue, and again, never wrote a script before, but I'm a consumer. Here's what I want to see. Every single piece of dialogue should be moving us forward in some kind of way. I should be learning something. I should be put on edge. It should just be meaningful. We don't need filler dialogue. This isn't reality TV. This is a movie and you have a point you want to make. So let's make it, but you didn't make it. What me and my mother later guessed is that the man who came to the table may have been one of the captors who was involved in that whole slavery situation. But it would have actually been more interesting if they would have shown him, because it would have been like, oh my God, girl, if you only knew who this guy was. But we never saw his face. And then to have the audacity to say that he was the most abnormally handsome man, I'm like, girl, can I see his face so I can tell you if I agree with you or not? I have never gone off like that on my YouTube channel yet, but this is just how annoying this movie was to me. The plantation scene in the very beginning when the movie opens should have been no more than 15 to 20 minutes. And if it was, that was the longest 20 minutes I've ever experienced. But if it wasn't, if it was 30 minutes, no, it actually was. It was going on 40 minutes. Way too long. Way too long. We get it. They're on a plantation. They're picking cotton. Things are horrible because, you know, we think it's a real slave era. We think we in this 1775. That's not the case. It would have been scarier if we see little clues of somebody wearing a Bluetooth. Well, nobody wears Bluetooth anymore, but somebody like doing something modern. Because I'm like, I would have been like, oh snap, like this isn't in the 1700s. This is like the 2000s. That actually would have been scary or creepy to see, or would have drawn me in. Again, the scene where Veronica's at her home when she wakes up from what I thought was a dream. Too long. What was the point of showing us the dynamic between your adorable daughter and your fine husband? Because they never came up again. It just was like, okay, I don't want nothing to happen to her because I know she has a family. But even if she didn't have a family, I still don't want her to die. Like, it didn't do anything for me, but at least they got a check. She has a Skype interview with that strange woman who ended up being a part of that slavery situation, who, you know, that's why I think that Veronica's character was targeted. That Skype conversation could have happened on the go. We didn't even need to rent this house. Like, it didn't need to happen in this place at all. They could have saved all that money and put it towards something else. Now, there's a scene where Veronica's in the hotel and she's going back to her room. I think she's gonna go freshen up so she can go out with her girls. While she's in the elevator going up, there's a little creepy white girl. And then I was like, oh, this is the same little white girl from the beginning when they're on the plantation. Again, no sense at all. I think they just threw things in there to kind of like it. Whew. I feel like I have 6 brain cells now because it's just, this movie is just taking me for a loop. The little girl's being creepy. You ever encountered a creepy person or a strange person, you're just like, okay. Like that was Veronica's response. But what happened in the elevator wasn't that same level of weirdness. It was way more than that. It required more of a response from her. When the girl skips off the elevator on the same floor as Veronica, she drags, and I'm not out of my mind. I swear I saw this. But the thing is, the camera didn't focus on it. But it wasn't filmed in a way where it was like, oh, you gotta catch it, like something in the background. It was just like a weird angle. The little girl skips off the elevator with a black like doll with a rope around its neck, so she's dragging it on a like noose style, which kind of mirrors a scene from the very beginning when we watch the captors. I'm not gonna call them slave masters because no, I'm not giving you that power, but the captors were dragging this one black woman who tried to escape in the beginning, grabbing her by the neck in the same way as a little white girl with the doll. But somehow Veronica did not see this. That's weird. If I saw a child of any race dragging a doll, like, hello? This movie had okay parts. It wasn't completely unwatchable, but it was very disappointing. The movie felt very out of place. It's like when you have a puzzle and most of it's done, but you have a big chunk missing and you just don't know where the remaining pieces go. That's what this movie felt like. I'm not trying to put everything on his shoulders because I want diversity in the field. It's not just about race. But Jordan Peele, if he was involved in this as director, writer, producer, water boy, intern, like this movie would have been so much more lit. Like it just would have been better. As annoyed as I am with this whole slave trope, this movie could have been interesting. It really could have been. You know when you go to your kitchen, here's where the waffle part comes in. You know when you go to your kitchen and you're like, you know what, I feel like a chef today. I'm gonna make pancakes from scratch, blueberry, banana, chocolate chip, whatever you want. And we're not talking about the box mix, nothing like that. You're very ambitious. You put on your baker's hat, you get your rolling pin. I don't know if you need a rolling pin, whatever. You put on your apron. All right, let's get it. And then like halfway through, you just say, you know what, I'm gonna go get some frozen waffles. And not even Eggo. I'm talking about generic waffles. That's what they gave us. That's why I say they are the frozen waffles of slave movies. The plot was interesting, but the follow through was trash. It's like they lost motivation halfway through, but they already got money from the producers and needed to come up with something to give them. Mind you, this movie was like over 90 minutes, over an hour and a half. Didn't need to be. This could have been a TikTok. Like it didn't need to be that long. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily recommend this until you can get it for free. So if you can find it for free before they release it on Amazon Prime, whatever, do what you gotta do. I mean, obvious pros, Janelle Monáe looks gorgeous in the movie. Every outfit, every hairstyle, she just looks amazing. The house is really nice. Her husband, her daughter, gorgeous. Gappa Ray's in it, doing her thing, looking super cute. And that's it. Like, I'm actually excited because when I reviewed, what movie did I review? I think it was #Alive, and I was like, I'm tired of watching things that I like. I want to watch something I don't like. Well, here we go. This movie. So if you stuck around this long, I thank you for doing so and listening to me rant. That was a lot. I want to know your thoughts. Do you intend on seeing the movie? Is it interesting to you? What do you think? Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.